Hakeem handles a chemical substance without wearing protective gloves. During the task, the chemical accidentally spills onto his hand, causing skin irritation and potential harm due to direct exposure. Because of that, Hakeem wears appropriate chemical-resistant gloves while handling the substance. This demonstrates the importance of wearing PPE to ensure safety when dealing with hazardous chemicals.
Hakeem handles an evaporative chemical in an open workspace without using a fume hood. As the chemical vapor disperses, the worker inhales it, risking respiratory irritation and potential health complications due to prolonged exposure to hazardous fumes. So that he conducts the task inside a fume hood, ensuring that the chemical vapors are safely ventilated. This practice prevents inhalation of harmful fumes and minimizes the risk of health issues.
Adam needs to retrieve a box from the top of a wardrobe, but does not use a stepladder. Instead, he stretched their arms overhead and stand on their tiptoes, causing an unstable posture. This improper technique puts strain on the shoulders, neck, and back, while increasing the risk of dropping the box or losing balance, potentially leading to injury.
The Adam retrieves a box from the top of a wardrobe by using a stable step ladder, while a Yakin assists by handing the box down safely. This teamwork minimizes strain and ensures stability, reducing the risk of accidents.
Adam is seen attempting to lift a heavy box by bending over at the waist and relying on his back muscles to hoist the load. This incorrect technique places excessive strain on the lower back and spine, increasing the risk of injuries such as muscle sprains, slipped discs, or long-term back issues. Correct one is, Adam adjusts his approach by using the proper lifting technique. He squats down by bending at the knees while keeping his back straight and chest up. He grips the box securely and lifts by engaging his leg muscles, keeping the load close to his body to maintain balance and stability.
Ever wonder why some hazards are controlled with things like specialized procedures, double wall enclosures, and backup power systems?
Follow standard procedure, that's an order.
And then other times, we just throw a high-vis vest at the problem and keep going.
That's not official safety orange.
Well, there's a method to the madness, and this method is known as the hierarchy of controls. Hi, I'm Rachel Walla with Ally Safety, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the hierarchy of controls and how it's used in workplace safety. As you probably are aware, not all hazards are created equal. Some have the potential to have really severe consequences, like a vehicle crash, while others are relatively minor, like a paper cut. It just wouldn't make sense to approach all hazards with the same level of care. So in safety, we needed an ordered way to approach hazards that's logical. That's where the hierarchy of controls comes in. The hierarchy of controls is a system that guides leaders in different ways of approaching hazards, from the most effective to the least effective.
The most effective method should be used on the most severe hazards.
So to illustrate how the hierarchy of controls works in the real world, we're going to use a simple example that we can all identify with: the heat of a flame used in cooking. What we're going to do is we're going to work down the hierarchy of controls, finding different ways to address the hazards of being exposed to heat and flame. The first step is to evaluate if we can eliminate the flame. Is the flame essential to this process?
Should we just be a sushi restaurant?
What if we don't need to heat anything? If not, the easiest way to make sure that no one gets burned is to eliminate the flame.
Ooh,
up, substitution is replacing one hazardous element with something that's less hazardous. Let's say a microwave. Engineering controls isolate people from the hazard. So let's take that flame and engineer the workspace so that it keeps people away from the source of heat. After that, administrative controls change the way that people approach their work to keep them away from the hazard. This could be using a procedure, such as keeping people out of the area while the flame is live, training employees to cook safely, or staying within a safe distance of the flame. Lastly, we have PPE, or personal protective equipment. You've probably noticed this is on the bottom of the hierarchy of controls. That's because it's the last line of defense. All PPE really does is create a barrier between you and the hazard. Now, a good example of using PPE in the kitchen is something simple like oven mitts. All those will do is provide a small barrier between you and the source of heat. And that's a quick look at how the hierarchy of controls work.
Well, that was easy.
It's a pretty simple concept, but once you get it down, it can be applied to almost any scenario. So the next time that you need to control a hazard, remember to use the hierarchy of controls and work from the top down, from the most effective to the least effective method.